Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi was describing or commenting on a hadith narrated by Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, in which she says that ما شبه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من خبز شعير يومين متتابعين حتى قبض. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not eat till the full from the chapati made from fine wheat for 2 days on the trot until he passed away. And about the poverty of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then in the commentary of this hadith, Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi, he explains and he details the benefits of eating less, the benefits of remaining hungry. And it's within this context that he mentions and he cites from Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah alayhi Ihya al-Muddin, in which Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah alayhi says, फरमाते हैं कि भूखे रहने में 10 फ़ायदे हासिल होते हैं. But there are 10 benefits, 10 benefits that he counts among 10 benefits for remaining hungry. Number 1, दिल की सफाई उससे हासिल होती है. Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah alayhi says that a person who remains hungry, then his heart becomes clean. तबीयत तेज होती है, बसीरत बढ़ जाती है. A person's temperament becomes sharp. He becomes sharp in how he behaves and sees things. बसीरत बढ़ जाती है. His insight into things increases. इसलिए कि पेट भर कर खाने से तबीयत में बरावत आती है. Why? Because eating to your full causes a type of silliness and stupidity. और दिल का नूर जाता रहता है, and a person's heart, the light from the heart decreases. मादे की बुखारत दिमाग को घेर लेते हैं. Says that because of eating too much, some sort of air that emanates from the stomach goes into the mind, जिसका असर दिल पर भी पड़ता है, and the effect of which also falls on the heart, कि वो फिक्र में दौड़ने से आजिज हो जाता है. Then because of this he becomes incapable of thinking too hard. बल्कि कम उम्र बच्चा अगर ज़्यादा खाने लगे, in fact he says that if a child who is of a small age, if he begins to eat too much, तो उसका हाफ़ज़ा भी ख़राब हो जाता है. Then his ability to retain his memory becomes weak. जहन भी कुन हो जाता है, and he becomes stupid. अब अबू सुलेमान दारानी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं, अबू सुलेमान दारानी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says कि भूखा रहने की आदत पैदा करो. That make the habit of remaining hungry. यह नफ्स को मुती करता है. It disciplines the soul and makes the carnal self obedient. दिल को नरम करता है. It makes the heart soft. और आसमानी उलूम उससे हासिल होते हैं. By remaining hungry, then the knowledge of the heavens becomes open to him and he is able to acquire this. हज़रत शिबली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं कि मैं अल्लाह ताला के लिए जिस दिन भूखा रहा, मैंने अपने अंदर इबरत और हिकमत का एक दरवाज़ा खुला हुआ पाया. हज़रत शिबली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says that the day I remain hungry for Allah Almighty, यानी fasting, मैंने अपने अंदर inside myself इबरत और हिकमत का एक दरवाज़ा खुला हुआ पाया. I found a door regarding wisdom, a door of taking lessons opening up inside me. यानी कि the door of wisdom opened up to him. इसी वजह से हज़रत लुक़मान रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के अपने बेटों को नसीहत है. It's because of this हज़रत लुक़मान रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, he used to advise his children, his sons, saying कि बेटा, oh my son, जब मादा बढ़ जाता है, when a person's stomach becomes full, तो फिक्र सो जाता है. Then his mind and his contemplation, meditation and worry and fikr for Allah Almighty, etc., he goes to sleep. Hikmat gungi ho jati hai. His wisdom becomes dumb, or aza ibadat se sust par jate hai, and then his limbs become lazy from committing or acting on the ibadat and carrying out the ibadat of Allah Almighty. Abu Yazid Bistami rahmatullah alayhi फरमाते हैं, Abu Yazid Bistami rahmatullah says कि भूख एक अबर है. He says that hunger is a cloud. जब आदमी भूखा होता है, when a person remains hungry, तो वो अबर दिल पर हिकमत की बारिश करता है. Then this cloud rains wisdom upon the heart. दूसरा फ़ायदा इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह then moves on to the second फ़ायदा. He says the second benefit is कि दिल का नरम होना है. That a person's heart becomes soft, जिससे जिक्र वगैरह का असर दिल पर होता है. On account of which the effect of zikr and the remembrance of Allah Almighty, etc., has an effect on the heart. Basa awqat, he says sometimes, आदमी बड़ी तवज्जो से जिक्र करता है. Person, he makes zikr with great focus and dedication, लेकिन दिल उससे लज्जत नहीं हासिल करता, but a person's heart does not gain any pleasure from this, और न उससे मुतासर होता है, and the heart doesn't become affected by this. और जिस वक्त दिल नरम होता है, when the heart becomes soft, तो जिक्र में भी लज्जत आती है. Then when the heart becomes soft, then the person also gains lizzat, यानी gains pleasure from the dhikr itself. दुआ और मुनाजात में भी मज़ा आता है. A person is able to take pleasure and enjoyment from dua, supplication, and from speaking and whispering to Allah Almighty. Abu Sulaiman Darani रहमतुल्लाह अलैह कहते हैं, Abu Sulaiman Darani रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says कि मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा इबादत में मज़ा जब आता है, he says I gain the most pleasure at that time, जब मेरा पेट भूख की वजह से कमर को लग जाए. At the time when my stomach has, on account of hunger, become attached to my back, and he's got hardly any food, and because of this he's extremely hungry, and because he's extremely hungry, he says that he finds the most pleasure in ibadat at this point in time when his stomach is empty. हज़रत जुनैद बगदादी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं, हज़रत जुनैद बगदादी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says कि आदमी अख्तार शानों को के और अपने सीने के दरमियान एक झोली खाने की कर लेता है, फिर ये भी चाहता है कि अख्तार शानों से मुनाजात की हलावत भी नसीब हो, पेट भरने को फ़कीर की झोली भरने से तशबीह दी है. हज़रत जुनैद बगदादी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says कि आदमी हक़ ताला शान के और अपने सीने के दरमियान, that between himself and Allah Almighty, he has placed एक झोली खाने की कर लेता है, he has placed a bag or a sack of food. फिर ये भी चाहता है, यानी this is a barrier between him, this food is a barrier between him and Allah Almighty. फिर ये भी चाहता है, and then he also wants that Allah Ta'ala Shanahu से मुनाजात के हलावे भी न so then he also says, with a bit of satire, that at the same time he also wants to gain pleasure from speaking and making dua to Allah Almighty. And this food is coming between him and his connection to Allah Almighty. He needs to remove the barrier and the obstacle in front of him. The third faida Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi says. So the first one was that a person's heart becomes clean. The second is that the heart becomes soft for the zikr of Allah Almighty. And the third benefit is that आदमी में आजिज़ी maskanat पैदा होती है. A person becomes humble, and a person becomes weak and soft and gentle. और अकर मकर जाती रहती है. The haughtiness it goes. जो सरकशी और हक़ ताला से गफलत का सरचश्मा है, which is the source of wickedness and heedlessness and not being mindful of Allah Almighty. This is the source of it. And hunger, when a person his stomach is full, then he becomes he doesn't become mindful of Allah Almighty. Sarkashi, wickedness comes, the haughtiness is there. But if he stays hungry, then humbleness and meekness comes inside him. नफ्स किसी चीज़ से भी इतना ज़ेर नहीं होता जितना भूखा रहने से होता. He says that a person's nafs doesn't become so great as does not become so weak as it and obedient as it does by a person remaining hungry. और आदमी जब तक अपने नफ्स की ज़िल्लत और आजिज़ी नहीं देखता, and a man, as long as he doesn't see the weakness and the humbleness and the disciplinedness of his nafs, उस वक्त तक अपने मौला की इज्जत उसका गलबा नहीं देख सकता. Until he doesn't humble himself, he can't see the magnanimity and the greatness of Allah Almighty. It's through humbleness that he sees and he's able to witness the magnanimity and the greatness of Allah Almighty, and that connection to Allah Almighty can come. But a person who's walking with akar makar, a person who's walking haughtily, a person who's living his life with pride, it doesn't come to him. आदमी जब तक अपने नफ्स की जिल्लत, then he says आदमी को चाहिए कि कसरत से भूखा रहे. A person should try to remain hungry as much as possible, ताकि ज़ौक़ से अपने मौला की तरफ मुतवज्जह रहे, so that with taste and with eagerness he can remain focused towards Allah Almighty. यही वजह है कि जब हक़ ताला शाह ने हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम पर यह पेश फरमाया कि मक्का मुकर्रमा की सारी ज़मीन सोने की कर दी जाए, is because of this when Allah Almighty, He presented to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the entire land of Makkah Mukarramah, all these mountains and everything and the valleys should be made of gold and given to him. So Huzzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam ne arz kiya, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ya Allah, oh Allah, ye nahi, this is not what I want, balki main to ye chahta hu, but rather I want this कि एक दिन भूखा रहूं, that I remain hungry one day, और एक दिन खाऊं, and that I eat one day, ताकि जिस दिन भूखा रहूं, so that the day in which I remain hungry, तो सब्र करूं, then I can be patient, I can do sabr, और तेरी तरफ आजिज़ी करूं, and I can be humble and meek in front of you, तुझसे मांगू, so that I may ask from you, और जिस दिन खाऊं, and the day that I eat, उस दिन तेरा शुक्र अदा करूं. On that day I can make shukr and thankfulness and be thankful to you on that day. Inshallah, after that Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi continues with the up to number 10, but he'll carry on for too long. So inshallah, I'll call it a day here. So Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah mentions that person remaining hungry, not eating to his full, he gets 10 benefits. The first one was that his heart becomes clean, or it helps and assists the person in purifying his heart. The second benefit is that his heart becomes soft and gentle for the dhikr and all the other acts of worship. And the third thing is that तीसरा फायदा है कि आदमी में आजिज़ी मस्कनत पैदा होती है. अब person becomes humble and becomes meek, and he becomes humble in front of Allah Almighty. And these are things, these are the things that a person needs to acquire in tasawwuf. Pride should go, akar should go, humbleness should come. And inshallah, if you read Fazail al-Sadaqat, then they say that Fazail al-Sadaqat is all about this. It's all about tasawwuf and the elements of tasawwuf, and bringing the elements of tasawwuf into ourselves. Inshallah, we'll carry on next week, do a bit of dhikr. I know Isha times changed today, and people have got children and kids to collect from madrasa, but inshallah we'll carry on next week. Dhikr for about 10-15 minutes, and after that finish inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Our Mashaykh also say, as a Shaykh al-Hadith, Moulana Zakir Sahib Khandalvi Rahmatullah alayh, I didn't hear from him, but Hazrat Moulana Abdul Hafiz Sahib Rahmatullah alayh used to say, Hazrat Rahmatullah alayh used to say, that the loud dhikr is a very easy and a quick way to purify the heart. Hazrat Rahmatullah alayhi used to say that the Mashaykh used to advise, or would advise, that a plentiful dhikr of Allah Almighty purifies the heart. And that's why you see that, it is mentioned doing mujahada and riyadat of food, eating less, sleeping less, talking less. But as a Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi used to mention his i'tikaf, that eat as much as you want. Ideally, you should still eat 1/3 for food, 1/3 for water, 1/3 for air. But he used to say, the main thing is, and this was something an ijtihad in tasawwuf that Hazrat Haji Dadullah Rahmatullah alayhi, in his writings you find, that the plentiful, rather than doing all the riyadat of removing all the negative traits, will put you onto a program of dhikr, the plentiful of dhikr. And the more dhikr you do, the effect it goes onto the heart and it purifies the heart. If you were to take a cup and it's got Coca-Cola inside it, you shouldn't be drinking Coke anyway, especially in the political climate that we're living in right now. But there's Coke in a cup, and it's black, and you were to get a jug of water and pour over the full cup of Coke, then the water would go inside the cup and the cup would start overflowing. And bit by bit, the blackness of the Coke would become overcome by the cleanliness or the purity and the clarity of the clean water. And it would start changing color to an extent that the water would pour out, the Coke would pour out, and after a little while, the entire cup would become white and clear. So Hazrat Rahmatullah alayhi used to say that the plentiful dhikr of Allah Almighty purifies the heart. Our hearts become black because of sins. Every time we commit a sin, a black dot appears. But then you do tawbah, the black dot goes. Until a time comes, then our heart becomes completely black. Rahmatullah alayhi used to say, Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim bima kanu yaksibun. That our hearts become completely rusty and dirty because of the sins that we commit. But the dhikr of Allah Almighty and the plentiful dhikr diligently carried out under the instruction of a shaykh would purify the heart and remove the blackness and the murkiness from the heart completely. And it's because of this that under the instructions of the Mashayikh, the Dhikr Majlis takes place. Our advice and guidance is that those bait to a Shaykh should carry out their Dhikr. Those not bait to a Shaykh, for this Majlis they can carry out the Dhikr with us. But generally in a day, a person should morning and evenings do his Tasbihat, Astaghfirullah 100 times, Third Kalima 100 times, and Durood Sharif 100 times morning, 100 times in the evening. This as the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi used to also advise at least a minimum 300 in a day. And inshallah, if you get the tawfiq, then go to a Shaykh, learn some zikr of him and carry out his zikr. Inshallah, we'll do the zikr of La ilaha illallah now to begin with. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu tabarak wa ta'ala alayhi wa ala آله وصحبه وأزواجه وأتباعه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله، 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 لا إله إلا الله. سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إلا الله 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 illallah, 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 la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah, 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 Allah. لا إله إلا الله سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. جزاك الله. إن شاء الله carry on next week.